Hey, Carl, now that Pulsar Security is going to be sponsoring the podcast directly, you want to hear the ad copy that we came up with?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, get ready for this. In a world full of security challenges.
No. We can't say in a world.
Come on, that sounds perfect.
You think we should?
It's like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie
You
cliche.
think we should leave it open for services on Mars? Is that what you're saying? I mean,
you can't.
Okay.
All right, just go ahead and read the rest of it.
Can I say in a world or no?
Go for it. I don't care.
In a world full of security challenges, trust is everything.
Well, that's true.
At Pulsar Security, we are enabling organizations to thrive safely in an ever-changing digital world.
Yeah.
Our experts conduct cutting-edge cybersecurity services, ensuring your business stays one step ahead of threats.
All good.
Experience peace of mind as we deliver robust solutions tailored to your needs. Your security is our priority. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
Choose Pulsar Security for a safer tomorrow. Visit us at pulsarsecurity.com. Empower your digital journey with confidence. Security starts here.
Okay. I like everything but
Okay.
in a world.
It worked for Batman.
I do like to
This
dress
is
dark and in
serious.
hoodies.
Now, this is serious stuff here, man. You're talking about keeping companies safe.
Yeah, we are talking about that.
Like
don't wanna-
cyber superheroes. Come on, Carl.
Conjure up images of the predator, you know?
Well, we should have done this from the start. So now we are officially sponsoring Security This Week by Pulsar Security.
Well, good luck with your ad.
Thanks.
You know, I'm really mad, guys.
Mad? Mad about what?
Yeah.
What is that?
Because I promise I will never buy new high-top sneakers from my drug dealer. I don't know what he laced them with, but I was tripping all day.
Oh, my God.
He wouldn't give me my money back, jerk.
That is the daddest joke I've heard in a long time.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
So, hey guys, what's happening?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm ready for tons of fun and laughs and scares all at the same time. Are you guys in?
Welcome to
think
Security
you're
This
in the
Week.
right
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stories. Perfect.
That's right. Yep, and that's our sweet number.
Yep.
So let's talk about Wi-Fi.
Yeah, of course, because Wi-Fi is the safest, most secure thing in the world, right?
It is. It is.
No.
It's always secure. Everything wireless is secure.
All right, so I'll read the headline. New Wi-Fi authentication bypass flaws expose home and enterprise networks. Oh, great.
Do they? Do they really? So Dwayne says this is a bit hypey.
It's a bit hypey.
I think he's right.
Yeah.
It's hypey in that it doesn't make the networks vulnerable. It makes the users connecting to the networks vulnerable. Is that the right read, Dwayne?
It is. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's even a little bit worse than that. It makes certain users vulnerable.
So
with certain drivers.
Just
your
Carl.
name.
Just Carl. Just
If your
user's name Carl.
name rhymes with Carl Mankman, maybe.
Then your Wi-Fi gets hacked. Yeah, so this is, it's interesting because, we see Wi-Fi networks get hacked. And it's amazing how many people we talk to who go, well, when you ask them, your Wi-Fi goes past your house, right? They always assume it just stops at the walls. Like Wi-Fi goes.
Well, if you live in a Faraday cage, it does.
Maybe.
I took mine down last week. I never should have done that.
You took down your Faraday cage or your network.
So needless to say, you read this and you assume, obviously, of course, that wireless goes outside of your house and somebody could be sitting down the street and maybe connecting and doing nefarious things. And you're right, Patrick. This is more of a client attack than a corporate AP, attacking the network.
Which is still a thing.
It's important. But then if you dig further, it says the vulnerability can be exploited against Wi-Fi clients, right? So not the access points.
The vulnerabilities with the access point, right?
No. But this is the client doesn't properly verify the certificate of the server.
Oh, that's why it affects all Android devices.
Right. So it's like...
Wait, I use my Wi-Fi. That means I'm a client. That means I'm at risk.
Correct. You're at risk if you're a client of the access point, but only if you're using certain Android Linux operating systems and it's only certain drivers.
Well, it's all Android and it's also Chromebook.
Yes, because they're not...
Which is a big surface area.
The drivers are not verifying the certificate properly. So is there a risk here? Yes. Is there a risk for the general population to the point where everybody should go worry about it? I don't know.
Every hipster who hates Apple should worry about it.
If you're using Windows today, you don't have anything to worry about.
And if you got an iPhone, I think you're fine too.
The vulnerability was identified in the WPA supplicant daemon.
What'd you call me?
You heard me.
Boy, it's been a long time since somebody hurled supplicant at me.
Supplicant.
What does that mean exactly?
So that's
It means like somebody who follows, somebody who's worships.
Okay, like a sycophant.
Yeah, they're synonyms, I think.
right.
Sycophant and supplicant.
Supplicant.
Attorneys at law.
Right. Supplicant. Dewey, Cheatham, and Harrow.
right.
I
right,
was
so-
just
You
going
guys must
there.
be from Boston. All right.
Kata. Welcome to Kata.
So, needless to say, this is an important one. You will hear about it in the news, but if you're not using Linux, not as much to worry about, and you really should patch.
So this is more the coffee shop. So corporations don't have much to fix except the clients. And the thing that's most vulnerable is you could get tricked into connecting to a malicious network for a
Okay.
man-in-the-middle attack.
So when you said Linux, I thought, well, most Wi-Fi routers they have Linux in them, but you're really talking about
It's
the
not the router.
client, like an
Correct.
Android phone or an Android tablet
Or a TV.
or a smart
yeah,
TV.
Sure.
And a
Chromebooks.
Chromebook.
So if you're walking around with your smart TV just around town, somebody could con it into
You just
connecting your
Can't
network.
Let the TVs rest. You just have to go after the TVs.
I
That's
do. I do. Just like beating on
poor
TVs.
Okay.
Dwayne has bricked more TVs than
I've
anyone
bricked so many
outside of
TVs.
the Rage Hall.
So many
When you
TVs.
say brick,
So
do you
many.
mean
Yeah.
you just mess with them so much that they give up working and they stop?
that they
Yes.
that they give up working and don't want to turn on anymore.
Because it's one of his favorite ways to hack into an organization because they always put the TV on the
Right,
Wi-Fi.
Okay. All right. Let's talk FBI. FBI and allies seize dark web site of world's most prolific ransomware gang.
So there's an old saying that the highest blades of grass get cut down first.
Ooh.
And
pretty
so
good, Patrick.
the more prolific one of these gangs are, thank you. Yeah, it's a very Sun Tzu of me.
Right.
So the Lockbit gang are pretty prolific. And so a bunch of countries along with the US have said, you know what? Let's make them not exist. And have made it so. I don't know if they've actually rooted the whole gang out, but they've done a lot of damage.
No, it was actually an impressive takedown. And on top of that, there's a new article out today, I think on Bleeping Computer, that said when the FBI and other authorities went in there to take down Lockbit, they actually found that they were working on a brand new, pretty sophisticated encryptor.
Wow.
So they were just in the middle of version, I don't know, 9.0 or whatever, and then they got disbanded. So
And in unrelated news, the cyber teams of the U.S. military have a new encryptor.
Whoa.
weird,
No, totally not related.
What are the chances?
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Well,
So it's good.
yeah,
I mean,
it's a good story.
This means it doesn't mean you should just click on anything
Right.
that you
No.
see in the internet. I mean, like, listen, I don't know if did you guys see there was either a Harvard or a Yale study or whatever. You guys have heard the 5-second rule, right? You drop something on the ground, you got 5 seconds to pick it up and
Oh,
eat it.
sure. Yeah.
Right.
Total BS.
And there was no, wait, hold on. There was one of those Ivy Leagues who said, you know what, we're going to test it. We're going to see how many germs make it on food that hits the floor. And come to find out, different foods have different times.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you drop
For
a
example.
blob of mayonnaise in a shag carpet and scrape it up, you're going to have, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
if it was 1 second or 5 seconds or 9 seconds or 100 seconds.
You're going to pick up all
Is this
sorts of
shag
crazy
carpet
stuff.
that's in is this shag carpet in the living room or
Have
in
you
the
been to
bathroom?
my house?
Or in the van.
It's on the wall, Patrick. It's on the wall. And it's green.
That's true.
Yeah. So listen,
But it was white at one time.
it came down to like things like, I think like a Skittles
Yeah.
has like a time frame of like 2 hours before it starts getting any germs on
okay.
it. And then like obviously like jelly is like
But what are we
seconds,
dropping it
right?
on, though, right? A hardwood floor? I mean, that was,
I think so. I think they were thinking like you drop it on a controlled surface, like
yeah.
stainless steel. When is it going to start getting
Right.
germs on it?
I think it also depends on how germy that
Also,
stainless
yeah,
steel
you're right.
is.
But, if you pick the Skittle up off a hardwood floor, wipe it on your shirt and, put it in your mouth, you're
It's
probably
fine.
fine, right? But again, if you drop a grilled cheese sandwich,
whose shirt? Whose
You don't
shirt are we
say,
talking
"Hey."
about here, though?
it's still good.
So bringing this back to cybersecurity,
Yeah, please.
because the biggest ransomware group has gone down. It doesn't mean you should just
Right.
click on everything in your email now.
Ransomware still
because they're
exists.
like, oh, it's safe now. Yeah, there's still plenty of groups out there, and things can get you.
It is not measurably safer.
No.
It is just they're just like they're trying. It's like when your basement's flooding and you're pumping the water out. You're just trying to keep it
Right.
from getting worse.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the ConnectWise thing. What is ConnectWise and what happened to it?
ConnectWise is one of those screen sharing, remote screen connectivity is where they got their start. It's where I've been
Okay.
used to them. Connect, you connect to a remote system, and they've got a flaw that is pretty. I think it's already exploited in the wild, is what they're saying.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, and it's definitely used for things like remote help desk support, right? Where a user has an issue, you can connect into their computer and you can see what's going on and maybe help them out.
Yeah.
But there's a web component to it that gives you access to see what's happening on the screen.
Okay.
And according to most of the internet and the active exploits we see, it's not very hard to bypass. So this is super high criticality. Yeah, definitely something you want to patch.
I thought it required an entire backslash.
An entire backslash. Or
An
is it a
entire
forward slash?
backslash is
I think
required.
it's a forward slash. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
you
forget
can't.
it if it's
You might
forward
be able to
slash.
use a backslash.
That says
I don't know.
oodles
You can't
about
get a forward slash.
how much Patrick uses the web versus the Windows. Backslash is a Windows thing,
Mm-hmm.
and forward slash is a web thing. Anyway,
But yes, it is an entire forward slash. If you make a request to the main web page and put a forward slash after the web page, apparently it doesn't ask you to log in anymore, and you get access.
and
to
then
it.
there's the path
the magic.
traversal thing. So if you can do a forward slash dot forward slash dot, right? You can go. Is that it?
Oh,
No, there is a path name. There is a path traversal part of it, but I think we're talking about the
I was talking
authentication
about
bypass as well.
1708.
They both
Okay.
involve slashes.
All right. Well, anyway, it's bad. So patch.
Fire bad.
All right.
So let's talk about this for a second.
Yeah, sure.
You decide to open up a software-sized hole in your firewall to your system. What could go
Right.
wrong? All of these softwares have the potential because you're basically doing something dangerous. It's dangerous to open this thing up. A VPN and then using software like this,
Yeah.
a far better solution. Because VPNs are less likely to. I mean, they could still have this authentication bypass and
VPNs
problems, but
squeeze all traffic through one tunnel at one port that can be allowed and disallowed.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah. And so I think it'd be better to, if you're going to use this kind of software, it's convenient. We know what that means. Convenience doesn't help
God
security.
forbid I got to stand up
So-
and walk over to the end user and help them out.
I know. So, but it really wouldn't be a far cry to say, let's use a software like this over a VPN.
Yeah,
Because then it's not exposed to. So the part that really hurts is the exposure to the internet.
right.
So don't do that. All right. Let's take a break, a quick break. We'll be right back after these very important messages. Welcome back. It's Security This Week. I'm Carl Franklin. That's Patrick Hines and Dwayne LaFlotte. And we're halfway through our show. What's next, guys?
Signal. I'll send you a Signal. So it's no secret, well, maybe it should be, that we use Signal quite a bit because we think it's the most secure. And they're not a sponsor. We should really see about that. We use Signal a lot because it's very secure. Well, they're now rolling out a feature that lets you use your username as your ID, basically any username instead of your phone number.
Wait.
So that way,
Signal uses your phone number for your user ID? Oh, I should have paid more attention when I signed up. You guys said it was so great, so I just signed up.
It is great. It's fantastic.
well, that was one of the minor downsides to it. It basically, if you're into databases, there's a thing called a natural key and a surrogate key. A natural key is when you use real data,
email address,
to do something, to uniquely
Social
identify
Security
something,
number.
like their social security number. It's almost always a bad idea. And I'll probably get hate mail for that. But you can use a surrogate key, which is just a made up key. In this case, a username would be a made up one. And so therefore there's less information leaked. So the government knows your phone number. They might know you're communicating with this one or that one.
Right.
Because they can trace the network packets perhaps. Now it'll be hard. That'd be harder.
So this is good news. Yeah.
I think so.
So do you have to do anything if you're currently logged in to Signal with your phone number?
No, I think you can just go in and set it in your account. I don't know if this is even rolled out yet.
It's not out yet.
Yeah, I think. But once it's rolled out, they usually make it pretty simple.
It says it's
they're pretty good about that.
It says it's in beta.
Yeah.
All right. So that's cool. So eventually you'll be able to go into your account and change your username from your phone number to whatever that is. All right. Good.
And it'll be completely anonymous, which is nice.
Yeah, as far as you know.
Yeah, because there's some interesting things in here. Like once you go in and you have your phone number, for example, like all of the people I know in contacts, I can see their real names as to who they are. And I could go in and see what their phone numbers are, and it'll be able to obfuscate that, which is kind of nice.
Mm.
Yeah, they're saying that you can change you'll be able to change your username as often as you want. And you can even remove it if you don't want to use one. I'm not sure how that would work, but this is more about allowing Signal to be used by people who are oppressed. I guess the death of Navalny might be the kind of thing that we're trying to. Those are the kind of people we're trying to protect before they get in custody.
Okay. Yeah, right.
I know.
Let's invite you to the next party. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a story. An ex-employee's admin credentials were used in a U.S. government agency hack.
So this is all kinds of wrong. So of all things to leave on is somebody leaves. I don't care if it's a temporary, they're gone for a temporary period of time. If you don't have a trained user using a set of credentials on a daily basis, disable or delete them. Because it's just surface area. Why would you have extra surface area? So they don't get into details of exactly which government organization. It's a U.S. government organization. They had their whole network compromised because they left on an ex-employee. So you got to think that maybe they were terminated. And it's not that employee's fault. They probably had junk password, but they didn't have MFA. But this employee might have been involved before there was MFA, and that's one of the other risks. As you make security updates to fix your network, like change the password requirements, ex-employees aren't going to follow them.
Roscoe, the janitor,
so they shouldn't
who
have
retired at 70.
Yep.
No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
Could be.
But it could have been.
Probably not. I don't think he was an administrator.
Well, he's told everybody he was a janitor, but was he?
This is a
Roscoe.
Dilbert. Is this a Dilbert reference?
No, I don't know. So
Roscoe P.
So I guess the lesson is that, you really have to have a process in place in your company for when people leave that deletes everything.
Actually, what you should do is you should have a process that includes not only deleting, disabling, but checking that every account that is still enabled is still in use. Because the problem is if you miss one, you need to catch it on the next cycle. Because you're constantly having people leave organizations, especially the larger the organization. So you go through and say, give me a report on the last time everyone logged in and sort by the longest date. And if you've got anybody that hasn't logged in for 3 months, you need to investigate to see, is that an ex-employee?
We have a corollary issue, which is what accounts did they create at vendors and or third-party tools or any kind of service that they logged into, even if it was Twitter.
They might still have Splunk credentials.
Yeah, even if it was Twitter, and what were those passwords, and were they the same passwords they used to log into their whatever? So you really have to know what
digital identity.
Yeah, the digital identity. And is this person using a password manager? Did they take their passwords with them? How do you change them?
Well, we track that stuff pretty closely in our company. We have a weekly report about things like and I won't get into the sensitive stuff. Things like our subscriptions, our software subscriptions, and who has our software subscription to certain things. And so that if a certain person leaves, we check their software subscriptions if they're like, maybe I'll pick Splunk again. Maybe the Splunk subscription is in their care. And so we need to go through and make sure we take charge and, change the passwords, change the accounts, things like that. It's a lot of work to have employees. But also, it's a lot of work to have them
also
come
it's
and go.
A problem because you have to change those passwords while you're sitting with them, because if they have 2FA or MFA or whatever, you change the password, you're not going to get the code that's on their phone.
It does depend. You might be able to have an administrator account where you just delete that account or disable it and spin up a new one. But we have password managers that we use that we can have a consolidated list of these credentials that are only available to people when they need them.
Can I decode this article a little bit?
Yeah, sure, please.
Please.
Okay, ready? I'm going to come in at the from the SharePoint server.
Okay.
Ready?
I see it.
From the SharePoint server, the attacker extracted the credentials of a second employee. Let me break that down.
Oh my God.
That means in SharePoint, there was a username and password. So they surfed SharePoint
in clear text
and found a username and password. And that sounds silly, but we've seen it at every organization we've ever gone to. There's a share named passwords, and in there's a text file that has passwords. And you're like, well, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Okay. So I love how it says they extracted SharePoint credentials, but probably just it was listed on a page in SharePoint. And then we go further down. It says, and by the way, that account had admin. That was an admin account, username and password they found. So, okay, not great, not fantastic. And then they say, according to the agency, the threat actor executed LDAP queries on the domain controller with open source tools to find users, hosts, and trust relationships, and then tried to sell them on the dark web. That's also known as the standard features for Windows, is holding an LDAP, everything that's connected to the network. Nothing super hackery.
Define LDAP for us, Patrick. What is that?
It's the Lightweight Directory Access Protocol, and it's basically a directory. It's just a directory service that was created that was lightweight, so you can have things stored and look up, and it's used by Active Directory as well as many other
hierarchical key value pair system.
I do want to point out, in their defense, the point of SharePoint is sharing.
And that's caring.
And they did share.
Accounts. They shared administrative access.
They care.
Sharing is not caring.
Patrick, they care.
You don't care. They don't care. They don't care.
And it also says the threat actors authenticated to many endpoints, like the CIFS protocol. Okay, they access to file share.
This is beginning to sound like Patrick's In a World advertisement.
In a world. In total, the attackers access 16 services. Okay.
Wow. 1/6.
Oh my God. All right.
I don't know. It's just, it sounds
not
more
good.
ominous than, they had a password. They logged in. They found another password, became administrator instantly, and then just ransacked the place.
Dramatic.
I know,
that
right?
Doesn't sound dramatic. It's bad.
Oh, my bad.
The problem clearly lies with the IT department and the administrators who set this stupid share up.
There are many.
Yeah.
There is blame to be shared, but the initial sin was you had an account that you should have disabled.
My God. I didn't know it was that stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, we have something stupider coming up.
So this is our clickbait story.
So what's the odds that if you just set up an AI chatbot and let it riff that it's going to get you in trouble? Probably minimal.
I'd be interested in the salespeople that sold them that AI bot that said, everything's going to be great. It's going to make your life so easy.
Now, we might be trivializing this problem.
All right. Well, let's talk about the story. So Air Canada is told they have to honor a refund policy that was invented and given to a customer by the airline's chatbot.
AI-driven chat.
So the AI told the customer, oh, yeah, you can refund your money if blah, blah, blah. Turns out, that wasn't true in reality, but it's true
now.
It's true now because the AI said so.
This is the AI creating reality.
Oh, my God. This is great.
Ooh.
What could go,
so
what could
this
go
is that,
wrong?
Well, I mean, you have a rogue employee. I think the same thing
suppose.
can go wrong. And you can fire the employee, but the employee didn't cost you $50,000 to implement. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You can train the employee, but yeah, there's a court case. There's a judgment against them. They have to abide by this. So this is yet another of those. You got to be careful what you delegate, especially to AI, because you don't know what it's going to do. And how do you test that?
Right.
Do you test it with 4,000 sample calls?
I would like to get a
that.
transcript of the conversation that the user had with
Would
the
love to.
AI, because there might have been some really great jailbreaking involved in that.
Might be out of source. It might be out there.
It doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't even sound like it, honestly.
Really?
Listen to this. So, this guy's, Jake Moffat, his grandmother died. We're sorry, Jake.
Sorry,
That's
Jake.
sad. So he goes to Air Canada's website and he says, listen, I'm going to book a flight. And he says, hey, maybe there's like a bereavement discount, right? Because you got to fly immediately.
Right.
So he starts talking to the chatbot and he's like, hey, is there like a bereavement discount? Like, can I get like a cheaper ticket? And the AI comes back and says, hey, if you need to travel immediately or have already traveled and would like to submit your ticket for a reduced bereavement rate, kindly do so within 90 days of your ticket when your ticket was issued by completing our ticket refund
So that's the
application
quote from the
form.
AI.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that the AI said, sure, we'll give it to you for free. You can fly around. Your grandma died? We're really sorry. You can fly for free. Just refund it afterwards.
Yeah.
And a refund probably down to the reduced rate.
So he needlessly to say went there and they were like, no, you
It was a
can't do that.
$200 coupon to use on a future flight. So it pays to know how to jailbreak Air Canada's chatbot, so you can basically get $200 off your next flight. Well, probably not now, but
Air Canada says
yeah.
It cannot be held liable for information provided by one of its agents, servants, representatives, which includes chatbots. Trust nobody, even the people we employ.
That's so weak, so lame.
Well, it didn't work, right?
No,
Because they tried
didn't
that
work.
and it didn't work.
Yeah, and I believe a judge came back and said, no, they actually represent you as a company. You should be careful what you put out there.
Wow.
Good. I think that's a good precedent,
Right.
because if I call up an airline and they tell me something, then they should be held responsible for that, because I'm making a decision. Otherwise, it's false advertising.
Yeah, and they're not the first to obviously implement, AI chatbots. I know Amtrak Julie has been around, I don't know, 12 years now, 15 years now.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of companies that have put chatbots online that have been reasonable.
When I was single, I only dated girls named Julie. Did you know that? So I'm never wrong when I call out their name.
I didn't know that.
Basically, that's the.
Nice. That's a good call.
If you only date one woman, is that
wasn't one-
really a thing?
No, it was multiple women named Julie.
Was that your Canadian girlfriend?
So
Yes.
I got
Julie.
We're
this
all
may be a
developers.
legal question as much as a moral question, but if you go on a website and you're engaging with the AI bot, and you ask it, "Can I talk to a real person?" and it says, "I am a real person," and you say, "No, you're not. You're an AI." "No, I'm not," and it lies. Is that
Yes.
legal for it to do that? Because
know.
I've had that experience, where you get it's a bot because you get the same answers of here are all the things that you should try before asking me a question that I actually have to think about.
I'm sure it's a gray area that has never been ruled on. If you wanted to sue, you could and establish that law. The problem is law gets created by lawsuits in these spaces, not by, they never create precedent by just saying, yeah, we should have a precedent in that regard.
Right.
There has to be a lawsuit that causes the precedent. to be
Yeah,
created.
interesting. Would you guys want to know if you're talking to a bot or a human?
I always assume I'm talking to bots, even right now.
It's kind of sad, Dwayne, actually.
He's more comfortable with bots.
Maybe I like bots better.
There you go.
I know Dwayne
I'm going to
well.
replace myself on this podcast with a bot.
His feelings are that at least he can reprogram the bot.
Yeah.
With us, it's hopeless.
That's right. It's all about control. In a world of a loss of control,
In a world.
one man
Prefer silicon to proteins.
One man stands against the world. It's Dwayne.
That's right.
Doom,
All right.
doom.
All right, you whack jobs. I'll talk to you next week. We'll see you guys Next time.
Good
Heck,
talking.
All right. Bye-bye.
see ya.
Bye, everybody.